Let's make a tasty weeknight lamb mince gnocchi dish. Now, this pasta is so easy. I'm just chopping up some veggies here and I'm choosing to use some celery, carrots, bit of onion and some mushrooms and garlic. Meanwhile, just in the pan behind me, I've got some lamb mince that's just browning on some high heat. Just making sure to break it up as it goes and get us a bit of a nice color on one side. I don't want to completely cook it. I just want to start cooking it down so I can cook the veggies in the fat. If you don't like lamb mince, feel absolutely free to use beef mince or chicken, whatever you would like. I'm just using lamb mince so nice because I think it tastes nice for this dish. So that's looking good. Now it is time to scoop out our lamb. And this is where, if you've got a bit of excess fat, you can just strain it off. Keep a little bit in the pan just so that the vegetables can cook. Now, to be completely honest, there isn't a huge amount of color on here, but this is just a quick weeknight meal. I'm not that bothered. You also don't want to overcook it, especially if it's a leaner meat, you don't want to overcook it. So I'm happy with this for now. Let's move on to the veggies. So in go our veggies, and we just want to saute these on just a medium-low temperature until they get nice and soft. Now again, feel free to add what you like, but I'm just going to go with these for now. I'd also suggest if you're adding things like mushrooms and I might add some zucchini, I recommend adding them when this has started to cook off a little bit and to soften because they won't take as long to cook. I'm also going to take the opportunity just to sprinkle in some rosemary. You can use fresh rosemary if you like. Also got some Italian herbs here I'm gonna drop in too. So I'm just gonna slice up these veggies and pop them in the bowl for when my onion, garlic, celery, and carrots have softened. Now the other thing I want to talk about is the gnocchi. Now I love to make my own gnocchi, but it is a bit of a time-consuming process. So an easy way is to buy just gnocchi from the supermarket, but I would not recommend buying dried gnocchi. Now, dried gnocchi is like dried pasta, but I think that dried gnocchi is quite, I don't want to use the word disgusting. I don't think it's very nice. It has a really awful taste. It's not soft, it's really hard. It's nothing like gnocchi should be. But at supermarkets now, you can buy gnocchi that is in the fridge section. So this is fresh gnocchi. This is fresh potato gnocchi. So yeah, this is great. It only takes a couple minutes to cook. So it's still fresh. It's not going to be the same as if you make it at home, but I find it a very, very happy and very, very good compromise. So this is what I'm going to use tonight. All right, that's looking good. Let's add in our zucchini and our mushrooms. So I'm going to wait for the gnocchi until just before I'm ready, but I've got a pot on with some salted water, just getting it up to temperature. All right, so now it is time to add in a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Just going to kind of drizzle it over. I'm looking for about 1 or 2 teaspoons. I'm just going to add a nice bit of sweetness and flavour, or depth of flavour to the sauce. Next in the middle we want some tomato paste, and this again is just going to make a rich tomatoey flavour. But we just need to make sure it's cooked off a bit first before we mix it in, because it can be very, very bitter. So now we're getting a really nice bit of a colour and caramelisation going on, and it's time to deglaze the pan. So I'm going to use some white wine here. You can use red wine. White wine, I find white wine a little bit lighter in these, I'd say lighter sauces. I like red wine for like more of a ragu, but if you don't want to use white wine or red wine, you can just use some water, and I suggest adding a bit of like vinegar, like balsamic, red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, anything just to give a bit of a bite and help break down like the vegetables, and it just gives a nice flavor. Now for the tomato part of it too, I'm going to add in 2 tins of cherry tomatoes, and the cherry tomatoes are a little bit sweeter. You can just use a tomato puree like a passata. You can use whatever really, but I find that these cherry tomatoes are quite nice. They just add a bit more of a sweetness to the sauce. All right, so our sauce has been simmering a bit here. So now it's time to add in our meat. Now the reason, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the reason we don't want to add this in too early is that if we add it in and just keep it in, the whole time the meat is going to get really chewy and overcooked. And that's especially true if you've got a leaner mince. Now I just want to break this mince up a little bit more in here, just so it kind of goes into the sauce. And we'll probably look at simmering this for only about 10 minutes. Just so that it kind of homogenizes a bit and all these veggies get soft. And you can see the cherry tomatoes, I'll actually just kind of squish them with the back of the spoon and they kind of release and mold a bit into the sauce. And here we go, here's our quick and simple, delicious lamb gnocchi. That beautiful sauce and that beautiful gnocchi is so soft and delicious. Now I've got some basil on the top. It'd be delicious with some chopped basil throughout it, just to get that nice sweetness and that delicious basil flavor. Now also, you can't not have Parmesan cheese. So I'm gonna grate a bit of Parmesan cheese over the top, and it is going to be absolutely delicious. Of course, amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys soon.